An actress is stalked by an obsessive fan. The barrier between our world and the world of demons start to crumble. Scientists use the power of dreams to change the living world. Keep watching to see which horror anime movies you need to check out. Warning, this video contains fast, flashing images. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for those with photosensitive epilepsy. Satoshi Kon's 1997 directorial debut Perfect Blue is a horrifying psychological thriller about the effects of fame and obsession. The film, based on the novel of the same name by Yoshikazu Takeuchi, follows Mima Kirigoi, lead singer of the popular girl group Cham. When Mima decides to transition from singing to acting, many of her dedicated fans are thrown into an uproar. As Mima tries to cope with the backlash while navigating her new career, she discovers that she has a murderous stalker by the name of Mimania. Between trying to maintain her public persona and needing to process her trauma, Mima starts losing her grip on reality and her concept of identity.
You're tarnished and you're filthy! Stop it! Stop it! I am not tarnished!
Inspiring movies like Darren Aronofsky's Black Swan, Perfect Blue provides a framework for examining modern obsession and its lasting psychological effects. Perfect Blue is not just about stalking, but about how your sense of self disappears when you step into the public eye. There are actually two Vampire Hunter D films. Sadly, the original 1985 film is often overshadowed by its 2001 follow-up. But there's a lot of value to Vampire Hunter D, including some gnarly monsters and death sequences. D is a vampire hunter, who also happens to be a Dhampir, a half-human, half-vampire hybrid. D wanders a post-nuclear landscape where vampire nobility, demons, and mutants rule. He's hired by Doris Lang to save her from Count Lee, a powerful vampire noble who wants to make her his new blood-sucking bride. Begrudgingly, D takes on the assignment, facing down a legion of monsters to do it, each more powerful than the last. Did we also mention that D has a parasite with a human face in his left hand, which keeps tempting D to drink human blood? There's a lot going on here. While there are some moments of extreme gore, much of the film moves at a slow pace, focusing on fleshing out the world's lore. That lore isn't always clear, but the film is still a visual feast for any gorehound. Yeon Sang-ho's 2016 animated film, Seoul Station, is the official prequel to the Korean zombie hit Train to Busan, taking place right at the beginning of the zombie pandemic. Hye-sun is a former sex worker living with her boyfriend Ki-woon, stuck in a vicious cycle of trauma and abuse. After an explosive argument, the two are separated by zombies. Meanwhile, Hye-sun's father, Suk-gyu, is searching the city for his estranged daughter and manages to cross paths with her boyfriend. Seoul Station has a classic structure where two groups split up during a zombie attack, but it doesn't feel as tired due to the gorgeous animation and the political commentary surrounding Korea's treatment of its homeless population. Squatters are among the first victims of the virus, never taken seriously by authority figures and regarded as unimportant by society at large. While zombie films may be overdone as a whole, Seoul Station provides a breath of fresh air to a well-worn genre. Directed by Yoshiaki Kawajiri, the 1995 film, Biohunter, takes place in a world where the demon virus is ravaging Japan. Those infected with the virus transform into horrific mutants with a taste for human flesh. In this hellscape live two men determined to stop the virus. Koshigaya and Kamada are two molecular biologists turned demon hunters who are trying to develop a cure while hunting down the infected.
You are no longer Masajuro Tabeth, no longer a human being, but a grotesque monster.
This is the first film by Kawajiri on this list, but it definitely isn't the last. This prolific director is known for transgressive works that push the limits of animation. Teeth burst from flesh, bodies twist and mutate, and any semblance of humanity is stripped away. This hypersexual, hyper-violent horror proves that not all animated films are meant for children. Released in 2010, King of Thorn is a gruesome blend of sci-fi and monster horror that is often referred to as Sleeping Beauty with a twist. It's another anime about a world ruined by a global pandemic, but this time people are suffering from the Medusa virus, which essentially turns its victims to stone. In a last-ditch effort to save humanity, 160 volunteers who have been diagnosed with the disease are placed in cold sleep while scientists develop a cure. But when they wake up, the facility is covered in thorns and full of horrific creatures. As they struggle to survive, they must figure out what happened, what year it is, and how they can save the world. King of Thorn utilizes both 2D and 3D animation, helping to capture the details of its characters and the seemingly impossible size of the creatures, making the character's mission seem all the more futile. Memories is a 1995 sci-fi anthology film from the mind of Katsuhiro Otomo, creator of the influential manga series and 1988 film Akira. But this isn't just Otomo's project. The first story, Magnetic Rose, is directed by Koji Morimoto and written by Satoshi Kon. It follows two engineers who discover an abandoned spaceship full of decadent furnishings and slowly unravel the mystery at the vessel's core. Next, there's Stink Bomb, directed by Tensai Okamura and written by Otomo, which is about a man who takes the wrong pill and gives himself toxic farts. Yes, there is quite the tonal shift between stories. Finally, there's Cannon Fodder, directed and written by Otomo, about a young boy who dreams of becoming a military officer, firing cannons against a seemingly non-existent enemy. These three unrelated films come together to create three very different imaginings of the future, and yet are united by gorgeous animation and thoughtful writing. These tales are psychological and haunting, focusing more on the cerebral experience of terror than visceral violence. The second Yoshiaki Kawajiri film on this list is his solo directorial debut, 1987's Wicked City. The film takes place in a world where Earth and the demon-filled Black World have struck a tenuous peace treaty to maintain some semblance of order. The Black Guard, a special police force made up of humans and demons, makes sure the treaty is upheld. But that treaty is about to expire. Human agent Taki and demon agent Makie must protect the diplomat charged with its renewal, but a radical group of demons don't want that to happen. Kawajiri used Wicked City to show off his grotesque style and eye for shocking violence, bursting onto the anime scene to establish himself as a director with no qualms about breaking taboos. Demons absorb humans into their flesh, and creatures sprout rows of sharp teeth and tentacles. The body is merely a ball of clay for the animators to play with. Viewer beware, this is another hypersexual, hyperviolent joint that isn't for the faint of heart. But if you can handle extreme horror, Wicked City is worth seeking out. In 1988, Yoshiaki Kawajiri gave the world another taste of his demon-obsessed style with Demon City Shinjuku. While not one of Kawajiri's most well-known movies, this is an underrated gem that pumps the brakes on the gore and sexuality. But don't worry, there are still plenty of creatures to appreciate. Demon City Shinjuku follows your typical hero's journey as a young man named Kyoya prowls through a city full of demons, seeking revenge on a powerful psychic named Rebi Ra for killing his father. Along the way, the world president is bound to a giant crucifix by a supernatural plant, a sacrifice meant to bring even more chaos to the world.
We've both got to stop him, or else our whole civilization will crumble to dust. I say we, but it's really up to you.
Like all of Kawajiri's work, Demon City Shinjuku is chock full of gorgeously choreographed action sequences that make up for its uneven pacing. Satoshi Kon appears on this list again with 2006's Paprika, his last film before he passed away in 2010. Paprika is a psychedelic journey through dreams that addresses the terrifying malleability of the human mind. Dr. Atsuko Chiba uses a device called the DC Mini to access the dreams of her psychiatric patients. By assuming her dream persona, Paprika, Chiba enters people's dreams to better analyze their subconscious. Of course, such power is easily abused, and the device is stolen by rogue scientists to infiltrate unsuspecting minds and manipulate people into killing themselves. Chiba dives into the dream world to keep it from oozing into reality. No written description can truly capture the jaw-dropping beauty of the film's animation, nor its reliance on dream logic. With Paprika, Kon made something truly special. Ninja Scroll is Yoshiaki Kawajiri's most influential work, cited as one of the films that brought adult-oriented anime to the West. Released in 1993, Kawajiri pivots from futuristic hellscapes full of demons to feudal Japan. There are still demons though, 8 powerful ones known as the Devils of Kimon, who want to overthrow the government. Wandering swordsman for hire Jubei is offered a large sum of money to learn more about these devils and to uncover their motivations. Along the way, he pairs up with a female ninja named Kagero, the sole survivor of her clan, to save the world from whatever dangerous plot the devils have cooked up. The action sequences in Ninja Scroll are lush and kinetic. It's a visual feast and, much like the rest of Kawajiri's work, is packed with as much shocking sex and violence as possible. Tatsuo Sato's Cat Soup is a trippy tale about grief and the deep bond between siblings, all represented by anthropomorphic cats. Nyata is a young cat who loves his older sister, Nyako, who is very sick. When Nyata accidentally drowns while playing in the bathtub, he sees Nyako walking with Jizuo, the patron saint of dead children. After a game of tug-of-war, they split Nyako's soul in half. When Nyata is revived, He gives Nyako her soul back, but it is incomplete. They must embark on a journey through hell to find the other half and make her whole again. The short's gorgeous animation makes Catsup a contemplative sensory experience. There's no spoken dialogue here to help guide the viewer through the story. Instead, it is up to the viewer to actively engage with Catsup alongside the two adorable cats. Don't let the whimsical aesthetic fool you though. Catsup is full of jarring imagery and violence, which is all the more shocking when it happens to animated cats. The last Yoshiaki Kawajiri film on this list is his 2001 film, Vampire Hunter D: Bloodlust, the only other cinematic entry following the famous vampire hunter. In this installment, Dee is hired after a young woman named Charlotte is abducted from her home by the vampire Baron Meyer Link. Charlotte's father pays Dee to find Charlotte and bring her back home unscathed. However, Dee has competition, as Charlotte's brother has hired the Marcus brothers, a band of famous hunters, to get the job done. But nothing is what it seems, as it's revealed that Charlotte is actually in love with her vampire captor. Kawajiri's Vampire Hunter D is more highly regarded than the original 1985 film due to its improved pacing, action sequences, and animation style. It's been touted as one of the better vampire films out there, striking a balance between gory action and character-driven moments which keep the viewer invested in the story. Eiichi Yamamoto's 1973 film Belladonna of Sadness is a heart-wrenching masterpiece about a scorned woman who yearns for any type of control. In medieval France, Jean and John are basking in the glow of their new marriage. However, it's cut short when Jean is assaulted by a baron in a ritual ceremony. Despite it being a tradition, Jean can't handle it and abandons Jean. In her despair, Jean is offered powers by a phallic demon who guarantees revenge upon those who have wronged her. What ensues is a never-ending struggle for Jean to regain bodily autonomy. With her status as a woman damning her to a life of torture, Jean's body undergoes several transformations as she tries again and again to become a more powerful being. Belladonna of Sadness is an agonizing but strangely alluring experience thanks to the psychedelic animation that represents violence against women in the abstract instead of in excruciating realistic detail. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more SlashFilm videos about your favorite movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.